Morning, everybody. What's up? Take my morning walk with me. A lot of us 9-to-5ers, we have the day off before Thanksgiving. I want to talk about OMAD. Jump right into it. OMAD is the acronym for 1 meal a day. I talked about it briefly in one of my other videos. Most of the time, I'll eat 1 meal a day. But some days, on weekends especially, sometimes I'll have a snack around lunchtime or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then eat dinner later in the day. But primarily, I try to stick to 1 meal a day ever since I learned about the benefits of it. But I was thinking, day before Thanksgiving, tomorrow, Thanksgiving is traditionally known for eating until you not pass out, but until you get that super full feeling and you're tired and everybody's sitting around watching football. Which is, thinking back, that's just, other than the family is the good thing about it, being around family, especially if they're mostly out of town. Get to see everybody, aunts and uncles, grandmothers, the new babies that have been made over the last year. But as we're getting older, especially Gen X, y'all Gen X out there, let me know how it feels to you. With grandma, grandpa passed, no longer with us. For most of us in Gen X, just feels different. It feels like Thanksgiving was a baby boomer thing, and we enjoyed it. We were kids. Turkey, mac and cheese, ham if you ate that. But along with the invention of the internet, you learn over time as an adult, you learn the truth about a lot of these holidays, particularly Thanksgiving. And I'm not even gonna get into all that, that quote unquote, what they call, some people call, or miscall, woke stuff. But once you find out the true origins of a lot of this stuff, you're like, do I really want to participate in that? But again, you flip every negative like that into a positive. You're around family, so make it about family. But back to the OMAD and the eating, traditionally we were taught, again, 3 meals per day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. You research into that, you find out that shit is a marketing scheme. We weren't made to eat 3 meals per day. It's crazy. That'll keep you in the grocery store. That'll keep you at the fast food restaurant. That'll keep you buying food. America is about capitalism. That'll keep you spending money. Man, I just walked by a brother smoking in his car right there, in his BM. Guess his wife told him don't bring that in the house. But now I gotta smell that on my morning walk. I'm gonna do a video on cigarettes, but I didn't mean to do that. I didn't put it in my notes. In 2025, people still smoking cigarettes. After your father-in-law, your dad, your uncle, your auntie, your stepdad, your coworker, all these people passing away over the last 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years that you've known in your life that were smokers, that died from the stuff, you still smoking? Yo, that's sadly comical to me. Man, I'm gonna have to do a video on that. But back to the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Imagine yourself as a car. You just drove to the racetrack or Quick Trip or whatever, Texaco, filled up your car, put it on F. You full, you got a full tank of gas, premium. And then you drive maybe 5 miles, run a couple errands, come back. Your car is still on full. Maybe you lost a little bit, you know, the lever moved a notch. I just noticed I'm walking a good pace here. Slow it down a little bit, especially if I'm talking. Get them 10,000 steps in. But yeah, you run a little errand, then you park your car at the house. You know, you sits overnight, and the next day, you don't go right back to the gas station before you go to work or run your next errand and put another $80 in the tank. You just filled it up. You ran one errand. Your car's full. It needs no more fuel. So, using that analogy, what's the best way to put it? Let's say you had a big lunch. It's 12, 1, 2 o'clock. Put all this food in your stomach. Now let's use Thanksgiving. We talking about Thanksgiving. Let's take it back there. You know you're gonna eat a big meal at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. A lot of people start eating at 2, 1 o'clock. You know, aunties, grandmas, they don't play on Thanksgiving. That food is ready by like 2 most of the time. Shoot, maybe even 1 o'clock from what I can remember. But let's say you eat all this turkey, ham, rice, potatoes, stuffing, mac and cheese, regular mac and cheese, vegan mac and cheese for the family vegans. You finish that off, you maybe get seconds, maybe an hour or two later, traditionally. You know, so much food. You want to help clean up the kitchen, so you're going to get seconds. And then you got a cousin like Shawana. Shout out to Shawana and her baby Celise and her husband Jason. And Nitra from Alabama, my cousin Nitra. All these bakers. My Aunt Betty. Can't forget OG Aunt Betty. That have the baking skills to create all these pound cakes and red velvet and carrot cakes. I never had a sweet tooth, but you know, I dabbled. Rest in peace to my grandma Queen. Best pound cakes ever. Shout out to my mom, Norma Jean, who had that recipe, pound cake guru. Let's see if the lighting is gonna adjust here. I might have to turn around. The sun is in my back. Not a good look on the camera, so we'll head back this way. But again, you eat desserts after that large Thanksgiving meal, and you're done like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. But then, you know, your stomach digests that, and some of you feel like you need to eat again by 7, 8 o'clock. But you just filled your tank up. Going back to that analogy, you just filled up. Why would you put food back in your intestines, which is your tank? Of course, we're in that cars. When you just filled it up, you don't need that. Food is for energy. Anything above that, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, people, is gluttony the term? Or greed? Anything beyond after you're full, there's no need to put more food in your system. And that's what leads to most Americans being overweight, or obese, or as I like to call it, inflamed. Just look at the pictures. If you look at a picture of a person 5 years ago, any person in your family 10 years ago, not kids, particularly 21 and over. If you look at pictures of people, go back 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, or old videos, inflamed. Their heads have gotten bigger. Their stomachs have gotten bigger. People call that aging. That's not aging. Stop attributing being obese or fat to the natural aging process. I was just thinking a couple days ago when we were in Jamaica a few years ago, and we went into the city because I wanted the city, see the city. I was amazed at the officers. They looked like they were about 5'11" to 6'2", slim, dark skin, walking around in their uniforms. I mean, super slim. It looked like a video from America back in the 50s. Looked like they were about 6'1", 150, 160, like welterweight. I was watching an old Tommy Hearns Sugar Ray fight the other day. Tommy Hearns, they put up the stats, before the fight. 6'1", 159. Cut, muscular. And I'm thinking, dang, is that how much he weighed? 159 and a half, 160, 6'1". I'm 6 feet, 185 on some days, 189 on other days, 181 on other days. When I fast 2 or 3 days, it'll go down about 178. But this Tommy Hearns back in the heyday, and he's 6'1", 160, fully healthy, cut up, muscular, 6-pack abs, and he only weighed $160. So, I'm not gonna keep you long. Just saying, consider OMAD, 1 meal a day. But the true jewel of this video is, I saw a brother from the nation, a video like 3-4 years ago. Old man, maybe 75, 85, but he looked good. I think it was Malachi or Melchizedek or Malik. It was an elder, and he was talking on the interview that he eats 1 meal every other day. So what's that? What's the acronym for that? OMEOD. OMAD. So I just think the older we get, the less you need to eat. And I think we were just all taught to eat too much. I've been a vegan since November, Thanksgiving 2016. I went vegan, I remember that. Thanks to my daughter Ashia, and putting me up on Dr. Sabi. And of course, reading How to Eat to Live back in college in the 90s. I read it, but I didn't really implement it. And of course, Dr. Layla Africa, shout out to him and his family. But yeah, Americans, we eat too much. I was watching a video on the breatharian the other day. Was telling my family yesterday, this man, it's a black guy, lives out in Arizona, breatharian, hasn't eaten in 30 or 40 years. And people are like, huh? He gets his energy, he gets his minerals, he gets his nutrition from the sun. Our beautiful sun. Of course, he's single, divorced, and I'm sure a woman or family, you think about it, it's a little off. A woman really isn't probably trying to live with a man every day if he's not eating. Eating is just so ingrained in our traditions. But I don't want this to be a long video, but at the end of the day, in summary, it doesn't matter if you vegan, carnivore, fruitarian, breatharian. Well, breatharian is super extreme. Nobody's gonna do that, I don't think, on here, but The older I get, I don't think it's about what you eat as far as your health and inflammation. I think it's more about how much you eat, how often you eat, put it that way. So put the fork down, people. Fast more often, intermittent fast, dry fast, water fast, fruit fast. There's so many different fasts. Make it more part of your routine. Consider OMAD, 1 meal a day, for you folks that are really interested in your health. Again, I don't do it every day. I try to, but I'm not perfect. Some days I might eat some watermelon earlier in the day, or some dragon fruit, or some plantain chips. I really need to stop with the plantain chips. I love them. Dipped in hummus. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining me on my walk today. Got the DGI again. Getting some more practice with that. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And remember that sleepy feeling you feel after eating crazy on Thanksgiving. That's really not a healthy feeling. Don't overstuff yourself. And make sure after you eat, go get a walk. And let's keep it healthy, folks. We want to be around as long as possible. It's a beautiful thing to be alive. Love you all. Peace.